Gotta figure that one out. Sandy Kenyon, our entertainment correspondent, is with us, and they've just released a new 3D movie. Right.
Yeah, you know, I thought these glasses really went out with the hula hoop, you know, but I found out that 3D is undergoing a revival. And here's our look at 3D's comeback. In the mid-1950s, Hollywood made 3D movies to compete with the rise of television. And for a time, they were popular. But 3D proved to be only a fad. And by the end of the decade, these films had become virtually extinct. That is, until now, when the recent success of a few inexpensive 3D movies has rekindled Hollywood's interest in the medium. Friday the 13th, Part 3 was made for little more than $2 million, yet it's grossed more than $30 million. And its producer, Frank Mancuso Jr., says that kind of success was due in part to 3D's new technology.
I think more than in the picture-taking process, it was more in the exhibition.
What was it in the projection systems that actually improved?
It makes the images cleaner, brighter, and just makes it a viable form of entertainment where you don't get the headaches, you don't get the nausea, you don't get all the things that 3D was wrapped for all those years.
Like Mancuso, producer Gene Quintano helped convince Hollywood 3D movies could make money. His film Treasure of Four Crowns goes into wide release next month, and 3D projects from major studios will soon follow it.
Well, you've got close to $60 or $70 million worth of films that are in production. And you've got Jaws 3D, Amityville 3D, the Space Hunters from Columbia. So this will be a year that determines whether it's for the long term or just a 1983 phenomenon.
So far, the use of 3D has been largely confined to what Hollywood candidly refers to as exploitation movies. And that, in turn, has critics predicting that despite their current revival, 3D movies will eventually fade away again, just as before. But Quintano doesn't see it that way.
My hunch is that when 3D is married to good films, that it will become a continual part of filmmaking as maybe a special event film. 4 or 5 films every year will be made in 3D.
For now, the major studios are content to toy with 3D in an effort to lure patrons away from home entertainment, just as the industry tried to do before when TV first began to capture the public's fancy 30 years ago. Perhaps the most interesting thing we found while preparing this report, Bill, was that there is real-life 3D in the Soviet Union, and you don't need the glasses either. It's a huge screen with hundreds of little lenses on it, and it's said to be very realistic and very impractical.
Have you seen this movie?
I saw a little of it. I get very squeamish at horror movies, but I saw a little of it, and really, it's quite dramatic, although I have to say the most dramatic 3D scene I ever saw was in an Andy Warhol film. He was the only one doing 3D movies in the 60s. And there's a point where they rip a piece of the anatomy out of someone and simply thrust it at you.
That sounds great.
Isn't that great?
So Bob was telling us where he's going to have dinner after.
Did I spoil it for you? Sorry.
Well, you can put on your glasses now, Sandy, and
You
head back to the theater.
Head back for the theater. This is a dog's life, you know. It really is.
What a guy. Hey, personal manager to the stars, Jay Bernstein, will be with us. And one of those stars is him.